Hey there, ASL. This is Matt. I am bringing you another demonstration of my project this week. Mostly what I've been working on this week is getting my Facebook API going, as well as some form validation. I spent many hours, a dozen at least, just trying to get the PHP SDK to work. I was unable to do that. I ran many different forms of coding and followed many different guides, but I was getting an error message that was saying my controller, Facebook, which was the class it was trying to call, would not be found. I do not know why. I left a lot of my commented code there, and I'm hoping that maybe either one of my peers or the teacher here can maybe point me in the right direction. But anyway, I did get it to work with the JavaScript SDK to my satisfaction. So let me show you a little bit about how that Facebook API works here. For starters, I'm just going to log out as you saw there. I will go to my Facebook here, and I'm just going to verify it is indeed logged out of my Facebook. This would be the page you're presented when you first show up to my app. It is just says log into your Facebook account so that you can use it, and I will do that. So voila, I am logged in. I can access all my information here. It changes, the view to what my app is. And if I come over here, you will also see that yes, I am now logged into my Facebook. Just to verify that it is working both ways, we can do a log out here. It just does a really quick log out, and again, it is now logged out. So the login logout is working. It is recognizing me as a member and showing me my information when I log in. Let me log in so we can show off a few more things here. I did add form validation here so that again, this add job button is going to get this div to show up. I haven't done any of the styling yet. That is going to be done over the next few days. I'm going to add some bootstrap and some styling, as well as get a few last functionality things going. Let's just say I wanted to add a job called someplace. Add that job, and it will add just fine. If you come on over here to MySQL Pro, my last refresh was a different someplace, but here it is. It's the new version of someplace. If you come on down here, there it is. So when you're adding your tip, you can immediately add it into that new job. If I were to go ahead and just say delete that, and again I got it coded so that it will tell you a warning. This will delete all tips for this job, are you sure? And that is because I have my SQL set up to cascade delete. So once it deletes the job IDs that are attached to it will also all be deleted. So it's just a warning there. It's kind of convenient. It says, okay, I'll delete that. If I were to try to enter no job, I'm going to get an error. Invalid job. Needs to be a word. Please try again. So that is set up to make sure they're at least entering a word there. Same thing here. I can show off a little bit of the numeric validation. Let's just pick some random things here. Let's say I'm at Chili's. It's October. And I'm going to add that tip. And indeed, there's that huge tip added in there. I can go ahead and delete that. And again, both of those are indeed connected and taking place in MySQL Pro here. But if I were to enter nothing, or let's just try a word even, let's say word, it says invalid tip and or hours. Both need to be a number. Please try again. And you can see that nothing was added here. One thing you might be noticing when I'm adding these is that you're getting this little pop-up screen right here in the middle. It takes a second. Now, it took me a while to figure out exactly what was going on there, but the reason that's happening, or the reason I set it up that way, I should say, is because my Google Chrome is actually blocking my cookies. So one of my lines of code here, which was the get login status code, the if response status equals connected runs this code, which switches my view. This was not activating, and it took me a long time to figure out why. But once I went over to Firefox, I'll do the same thing. Let's say $76 and 5 hours at whatever Outback. At that tip, you'll notice you don't see that little pop-up. And that is because this code is actually running at this point. But if for some reason the browser should have cookies blocked, then this will not work, and then it falls to the else, which runs this, which is kind of my backup, which is not, it's running the login, which is kind of doing the same thing of creating that object, and then at that moment, it is indeed recognizing that it's connected. So the same exact code is running. So the reason that thing is popping up on Google is because I left my Google Chrome cookies blocked feature on, just to kind of show that off, that even if the browser does have cookies blocked, this will still work. It just will be a tiny bit slower and show that little login screen. But I thought that was a pretty nifty fix for both. Other than that, yeah, that is about it. I can run through my code a little bit here and show you some of the stuff I've done, such as Facebook API things. Again, I have the get login status, which I just kind of explained. I have it set up so that on the window load, it's running that check for your status, so that it's recognizing that you are logged in and not taking you back to the login screen and causing you to have to press that login button every time you want to open the app. Other than that, this is all kind of review from what I've had the week before. I can show you a few new additions to the controller. Oh, one interesting thing, in order for me to get it to work the way I wanted, I had to load the FB API synchronously, so that it loads before all, like in order. So it loads and then the rest of the code is all loaded. When it's loaded asynchronously, I was definitely having some problems with getting it to recognize the connected, because it was loading at the same time and it just wasn't working the way I wanted it to. So I do have a synchronous load here for the Facebook. Other than that, I have added a few things as far as, the Facebook stuff. Most of this code that is commented out is, like I was explaining, that PHP SDK attempts. And, I have followed these guides and I really am frustrated. So if anybody does have any solutions for that, I would really love to know. I've just hit a wall with that. As a matter of fact, I think this was what was really having the problem right here. The load library, Facebook, and then you're adding that array, obviously. But then by the time it says call this call here, when it was saying that Facebook is not recognized, this version right here. And I did that for a few other things as well, such as the form validation, the code igniters version for form validation. It also asks you to this load library, and instead of Facebook, obviously, it is a form something. But when I would run similar code, it would say form something, whatever that is, for my controller is not recognized. So I don't know if this line, which I got directly from CodeIgniter's documentation, I feel like there might be something wrong, or I don't know what I'm doing wrong there. But everything seems to be working just fine, so all is well. I do have all this commented out code. Here are my verifies, the validations rather, making sure that, well, not there, but where do I have my add job? Anyway, I am not finding it at this moment. Here we go. That is what's validating to make sure that it's a check to make sure that the cascade, warning you that there's going to be a cascade delete. And yep, that is pretty much about my code. Thank you very much for watching, you guys. Here's the one thing I also wanted to check was where is job? Anyway, I'm not finding it right now. I wanted to show you the validation for the if-else statements for my validation to make sure that they're numeric, but I'm not seeing them at this moment. They are in there, however. Thank you very much for watching.